stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Davis, Councilman Bill, Supervisor Runyon. Here. Councilman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Galusha.
Here.
Okay, we'll start with our guest speaker from the library.
Esther McTagg for Richards Library. Just wanted to remind you guys we're doing a lot of exciting things over there. Some of our new things are certain times during the month where you can stop in and have someone help you with sewing, whether on a machine or otherwise. We have some volunteers people have taken advantage of, and it's working out great. Also, on that same vein, repairing things like a bike or a TV, something relatively small.
Mm-hmm.
The volunteerism has been great, and a lot of people have been helped by that. We also have classes and/or individual sessions for, I was going to say old people like me, but people who don't know how to run their phones or their computers very well sometimes. And that's pretty much always available. You can just stop in. And one of the things that we're looking for, and want to put the word out, is we have a vacancy for a trustee. And it's kind of the same as what you guys do, except we don't get paid. But it's a volunteer thing for your community. And the Board of Trustees is involved in the budget and overseeing the library and overseeing the director and the programs and so forth. So it's about like one meeting a month. It's a good way to give back to your community. And we urge anybody who might be interested, you can check on the website and see when the next meeting is, if you want to check out a meeting and then see if you might like it. Tell your friends.
Who do they apply to?
Right at the library. Shelby's the director, or you can send an email to them and she'll contact you to the library. Yeah. Thank you very much. I apologize, but basketball.
Thank you, Esther.
Did you want to speak about the youth or anything?
Oh, I thought we were going over.
Well, we normally do, but if you're a guest speaker, you go first,
Oh, I can wait.
That way you don't have to sit through all of our business.
unless you want to, but.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I'm
Yeah.
patient, but yeah, no. The only thing I had was I just didn't know what the position would be if things are kind of like growing and evolving and changing with archery, and they're getting into more, structured with a team and everything. And I didn't know. I think I have to ask the board as a whole if there would be any issue with me creating a separate 501c3 organization for the archery team to kind of separate it a little bit from the town to be able to protect it in the event that for some reason years down the road the youth commission is ever dissolved, that the archery team is its own standalone entity, and have an MOU with the town saying that we have a verbal agreement that the equipment will be here and everything, and it's open to the town and everything as it already is, and that we can utilize the property for the targets and the range and everything. But then, like in the event, as has happened in years past when the youth commission has been dissolved, the team and all of its efforts and investments won't go away, because now we've raised money on our own, almost $8,000. That is specific to archery, and I'd like to be able to protect that for the kids and the team.
I'd have to find out from our attorney if that's acceptable, if that's okay for us to do. And what about the other youth program?
So the commission would still stay under the town, because that should be part of the municipality. But I did talk to Leah, and she said that with the way things are growing and changing with the archery, that it would make sense to protect it in the event that anything ever happened. So the commission would still stay under the town, and just the archery would be its own standalone, separate team.
And did she say that still would qualify you for county money?
Yeah, she said that that would be fine. Obviously, first, would go to the town, so the YDP money would go to the town first if they wanted it, and then the sports is and always has been separate from the town.
I would ask that you just write up what you just told us, what your request is and all the information you have. Send it just in an email to Deb and let her forward it to the town attorney to get
Just to
his
make sure.
feedback to make sure that we're not violating some town law or something.
Okay, yeah, no, I figure it's probably gonna be like a lengthy process anyway to start a separate 501c3, cause I would need to do that.
Personal though, 501c, that would be you personal, you know, your group personally.
Right, exactly, and then that way there, like I said, if for some reason years down the road, some new supervisor comes along and says, yeah, we don't really need this, then everything that the kids and the parents have worked towards isn't just gone.
Right. No, I understand your request.
Yeah,
I-
makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I think we just need to find out from the attorney
Yeah,
how we go about it so that we don't get.
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, no, it's,
So,
I don't expect it to happen this year, it just was something that
mhm,
that would be beneficial to work on.
sure.
All right, the first resolution we have is to approve abstract 1 claims for 2025. Ed, bring it to the floor.
I'll second.
Okay. The total of abstract 1 for the general fund is $54,704.13. And the total of abstract 1 for the highway fund is $66,418.56, for a total of $121,122.69. Of the highway money, $54,821.56 is rock salt, and they did end up with having over $37,000 from last year left in the budget for the rock salt. We were billed for the whole year at one time. You know, so that's why it's so high right now. Do you have any questions on any of the other invoices? No? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The second resolution is to set a meeting procedure. Does anyone want to bring this to the floor?
I will.
Randy? Ed, you second it? Okay. Whereas it is necessary to set rules of procedure governing our monthly meetings in order to prevent unnecessary interruptions and ensure an orderly meeting, be it resolved that privilege of the floor will be held at the conclusion of the meeting and will consist of a 3-minute time period for public comment regarding the current meeting agenda. This is coming about so that we can stay on track and get our business done before we start any discussions.
I would recommend that we have privilege of floor both at the beginning and at the end. Because if we're gonna take action on something that night, it's in our meeting packet or whatever, I think it's fair to let the public have their say and input at the beginning of the meeting so that we can take that into consideration.
Okay, I just don't wanna get involved in a lot of question answering and taking up a lot of time.
I understand where you're coming from on that, but
Mhm.
I'm not trying to make it overly, whatever. I mean, I just think that, if we have something we have to vote on, and we vote on it, and then the public can only say something after it's a done deal. It kind of, maybe they have comments that might influence our decision and the way we vote. So I just think it's appropriate that they have input.
Do you want it before resolutions? Is that what you want, before we go through the resolutions?
That would be my recommendation. Either have it before the resolutions and at the end of the meeting, or just move it to before the resolutions. I mean, I don't know if you need to tap it both.
Well, just as somebody who's attended 15 years worth of meetings, they always had privilege of the floor before the resolutions, but only then. They didn't have it ever twice.
Oh,
Okay.
And that's what, has been the protocol,
Yeah.
except for this year, the entire time I've been the town clerk.
Right.
So I'll change the resolution to privilege of the floor will be held prior to the resolutions.
Okay, so it would be held prior to the resolutions instead of at the conclusion of the meeting?
Yeah,
Okay,
prior to the resolutions and the rest stays. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then before we move on, we'll have privilege of the floor. Okay.
Anybody have anything else to say?
Okay.
I couldn't say what I wanted to say in 3 minutes, so it's kind of useless to speak.
We're not gonna time it.
Well, that's what the resolution says now. Are we following a resolution or are we doing something different?
I think the 3 minutes is if we have a packed house full of people that, on a contentious issue, and everybody wants to speak, but I don't know how you feel about that.
I think it should pertain to what we're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, but as you go along in a resolution, somebody that's trying to follow these resolutions have questions when you're reading through it. So if I ask a 3-minute question in the beginning of it and I have questions for 4 different resolutions, I'm only gonna get my 3 minutes.
You can always ask questions of the board members after the meeting. It's just I wanna get the meeting, look at what we have to go through, I'd rather go through the resolutions. And if you have a question about one, you can make your comment right now. Is there anything you wanna make a comment about?
This, on the schedule hours report that you got, do we have a building maintenance man now, or, because he's not on there?
No, we don't have a formal maintenance position. No.
You put $18,000 into the budget for building PS. And
Right.
the woman that cleans the place only takes $30 a week, which is $1,200 she's collected this year.
Right, that's where the other money is for the extra 10 hours. The extra 10 hours a week
Is for her.
is, no, it's for Ed to come in here and do the work that he does here.
Well, that's a maintenance man, isn't it?
Well, it's not officially his title, he just comes and does it. It's not an official title.
Was it ever put out, advertised for someone? We used to have a maintenance man that worked solely in this building.
Well, they did try to get one, probably when you were back in, they tried to get one.
I think we advertised it more than once and we never
Yeah.
were able to get anybody.
Cause who's gonna come in and work for that little bit, you
We,
know?
we did try, when Shepard was supervisor, we tried, and I don't know if we've tried since then, but
Wasn't $23 an hour though.
Hmm?
that was my question. If Ed is gonna be working as the maintenance person, are we paying him his superintendent's salary?
Yes, we do.
Don't you think that's something the board should have considered? I mean, if we're gonna hire a maintenance person, we have to put out what the pay schedule is. So,
Do I have a different packet than everybody else? Because I don't have that information.
What information?
You're looking at it right there.
18,000, I'm
the
not
next
seeing-
page,
Oh,
next page, it's got it. That's the hourly schedule of
Okay, yeah,
people.
I see county clerk, cleaner, Meals on Wheels.
the 18,000 comes in the budget. It went from 3,000 to 18,000. It's not, you're not gonna see it on there.
It's a budget item, it's not a person or position.
Oh, so if it's not on the paper, then it's not part.
No, it's part of the budget. It's not on there, that's hourly rates, the budget is totals for the year. Well, if the board wants to revisit that, we can, but we should probably have other people involved.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of it. My only concern is that you wanna change it, that's fine, but my job description has been the same forever. Not just me, but even the prior ones that worked up there. Burns, God bless him, Charlie, God bless him. You worked up there, you did your job, you did pick this, you worked here to make up your extra hours. The job description is not changed.
Right.
They're just trying to change it just to harass me.
Who is?
I'm not gonna get into that.
Me.
But I'm just saying, if you're gonna change my job description, change the description.
I'm.
Don't go mess with my hours. If you wanna fight, let the board do it.
No,
I don't
wasn't-
care.
Wasn't even
I'm gonna
talking
tell you
about,
right now.
wasn't even talking about your job description.
Okay,
I
but
was just saying that we have money allocated for maintenance purposes. We've not actually taken an action to hire an actual maintenance person.
no,
And if you're gonna do the job,
that would change my job description. My job description never changed since I've been up there. Never. That's what I do. I work up there, I pick up garbage here, I do whatever needs to be done to make up my time.
So-
That's it. If
okay.
they wanna cut my time, let the board do it. Change the
Not-
job description.
not even proposing that.
Okay.
I'm just
I
saying
just wanna
that-
put that out there.
I'm just saying that if you're going to fulfill the role of maintenance person, then that should be included in your job description if that's what we're gonna do. And we should decide, are we gonna pay you superintendent's wages to act as maintenance person?
Okay.
That's up to the board to decide. I'm not taking a position either way.
That's fine, but then my next
It's just-
question is, are they gonna start paying me travel time too for when I'm actually doing town work?
Let's
I
see.
hadn't even
Well,
considered.
that can come up too,
See,
I'm just saying.
That is the point that I would like to make is
Whatever they wanna do,
there's
is
never
fine.
time involved, there's never materials involved.
Mhm.
When, if he was to add that in, it'd be more than it is right now.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying what's happened is we've had kind of an informal, Ed's assumed this role without any formal process by the board.
Mhm.
He's never been appointed, it's never been considered by the board.
Then why are they doing it then? I'd like that answer, can you answer that for me?
I don't know how.
My job description, I've done it, I did it even when I worked
Your
for
job
Pat.
description includes doing maintenance at the town hall?
I have been, every one of them
I
did.
understand you've been doing it.
If they were picking up trash,
And I'm not
picking
picking
up
up.
recycling, I'm just explaining my job
Okay.
description. You mow grass, you do whatever you had to do, pick up trash, it didn't matter.
Fair enough.
Pick up what you need
I don't
for
have a
your
problem
job.
with you doing
Alright, I'm just saying this.
I don't have
So
a
that-
problem with you doing it.
So that's what we'll do, we will, at our next meeting, we'll have some type of a meeting.
Exactly.
We'll have an executive session, we'll go upstairs, we'll discuss the position,
I'll
we'll
excuse
discuss all of
myself.
that, and you'll excuse yourself.
Actually, it wouldn't even need to be an executive session. If we're just gonna talk about the job description, probably the right way to do it would be to advertise a position if we don't have any applicants for it, and we choose to, the town board chooses to have Ed fulfill that role, then we would consider that, and that's no problem. I don't have a problem with that.
That'll just be.
I'm just saying, we've never actually taken a formal process to put Ed into that position or to do it, or to even
No, he's
create it.
just,
Prior
It's-
people have.
You've been doing it, and I appreciate the
I've
fact that
been
you've
here
been doing
since
it.
2007 already. I
Yeah.
haven't done anything
That's okay.
different since then. Why all of a sudden is it brought? That's my
Well,
only question.
We'll do what we
Because
need
all of
to
a
do
sudden,
to
we've
make it
allocated a bunch of money in the budget for it.
yeah.
We put $18,000 in the budget for it.
Everybody's wages go up. I mean, I
Well,
don't care.
that's not just yours, but that's everybody's.
Right.
That's
but
what I'm
that's
saying.
what we'll
I
do.
feel like you're singling me out now.
No,
I
no,
really
no.
do. I
Well,
really do.
It's,
And you're
I
right.
and
mean,
it's
after
not.
all these years, 17 or 18 years, you're starting to single me out. I have done nothing different.
Well,
My job description has not changed.
so we will have a resolution that makes everything formal and
Mhm.
correct
Fair enough.
at the next meeting. Okay.
Fine. Yep. Whatever.
Well, that's what we'll do. I have it down.
Whatever.
All right, the next resolution I have is to appoint Cynthia Hyde as Registrar of Vital Statistics.
I'll bring it to the floor.
Ed, okay,
I'll second.
Randy. It's resolved that the town board of the town of Thurman appoints Cynthia Hyde as a Registrar of Vital Statistics. There's probably no discussion on that, huh? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next one, these are the resolutions that were left over from the organizational meeting where you wanted all the wages and listed. So this is the resolution to approve the schedule of appointments and various rates of pay. Everyone is listed here. For elected and appointed, it's their salary. For hourly, it's their hourly rate. And that all comes right out of the budget.
I'll introduce.
Oh, okay, just gonna ask if somebody did.
We're just spinning our wheels.
Yeah.
I introduced
I'll
it.
second.
Okay. All right. Do you have any questions on any of it?
No.
Okay. What about you, Randy? You all right?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And like I said, these are all just carryovers from the other meeting. Resolution to establish investment of surplus funds. Let's bring that before. Ed, okay,
I'll second.
Randy seconded it. The supervisor is authorized to invest surplus funds to earn interest for the accounts from which the invested funds are to be drawn, same as it's been. Do you have any?
My only comment is, it's pretty vague. I mean, I'm not saying I have a problem with what you've invested or done.
Right.
It's just, this doesn't really say anything, it doesn't give any guidance, there's no specifics about how or where or what what are surplus funds? I mean,
Money we don't need for our operating expenses.
right, but how do we define that? I mean, do you just decide, well, I've got $50,000 extra sitting around, I'm not gonna need it to pay bills for the next X number of months? I mean, I don't have a problem with what we're doing with New York class and all that. I think it's good. I mean, we should have been earning interest years prior and we didn't, and so what we're doing is great. But this is really,
Well, I don't know.
really vague.
The thing about the surplus funds is it varies. Like right now, we don't have a lot of surplus funds. I wouldn't be adding, but when all that property tax revenue comes in, we've got way more money sitting in that bank account than earning nothing. So I'll move over, do you want me to make it a board resolution? Do you want me to come to a board meeting and say, we have this much in the bank? Should I move this?
I mean, in all honesty, I think, and I'm not an expert on what other towns do, but it seems like that's the appropriate way to do it. But I don't have anything in town law to point to that says that's the way it has to be. I'm just saying, this,
Well, I know in the other towns I worked in, the supervisors, the fiscal officer did move it at will, or, I was a bookkeeper, so they told me to move it,
but did they do it pursuant to board resolution, or did
No.
they just on their own judgment?
on their own judgment, and when they needed it, they moved it back. Like if you had a truck payment coming out, you needed it, you moved it back. But you might as well utilize, earn as much as you can off of it, while leaving the same balance you need to avoid the fees that the bank imposes. Because we are charged a rate for each individual deposit, each check we write, positive pay. So we need to have a certain balance.
I guess if we could put some wording in here that said something like, and I'm just thinking out loud here, so this might not be right, but something like the supervisor's authorized to invest surplus funds in board-approved investment vehicles or something like that, just so that, you can invest it in the New York class that's all set up,
That's in our
but
fund
you can't
balance
put it in the
policy.
stock market.
Yeah, oh, no, we don't allow.
No, I'm not saying that you would, I'm
No.
just saying this kind of nails it down so that future supervisors aren't gonna think, oh boy, I can just go invest this in some, pyramid scheme
How
or
about
something.
invest surplus funds in the New York class account relative to the fund that account
That's
that's
fine.
coming from?
Yeah, if you're gonna say New York class, then that's good, because that specifies where the investment's gonna go.
That's
And
fine.
as far as the amounts go, I mean, I don't have a problem with you making a judgment call on the amounts, cause you know best how much money you need to keep on the end.
You're right, it should say in New York class.
So, to invest surplus funds in New York class, what?
Yeah, how about if you say, to invest surplus funds in the established New York class accounts?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so it'll read, so the supervisor is authorized to invest surplus funds in the established New York class account.
And the rest of
Accounts.
it, to earn interest
There's
in
more
the
than one, so say
Oh,
accounts.
account, okay.
account. And it has to say, in the accounts from which the invested funds are drawn, because you have to keep highway and highway, you have to keep general and general. So the whole rest of it has to stay.
So in the established New York class accounts, then what?
To earn interest,
Oh,
all the rest of it stays, to earn
do all the
interest.
rest of the resolution?
Yeah,
So-
all you gotta add is in established New York class accounts
And then to earn.
to earn interest.
Right, okay, I just, yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
because it has to stay where it originates from.
So I just wanna know what I'm adding, so what I'm adding, just so I get this straight, is in the established New York class accounts. Look at
Yes.
that. Okay,
Perfect.
got it,
Thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
Alright, this one, we didn't have an issue with this one, but, well, maybe other than the date. The resolution to accept the town procurement policy,
I'll bring it.
okay?
I'll second.
Whereas the town of Thurman procurement policy was adopted on January 10th, 2023, and no changes are required for 2025, be it resolved, the town board adopts the procurement policy pursuant to section 104B of the general municipal law for 2025. Is there any discussion on that?
No.
Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next one does have a change, it's the resolution to accept the town fund balance policy.
I'll bring it.
Randy?
And second.
Okay. Now, this one does make, some changes here. For one, none of the first paragraph has changed. In the general fund section, it changes for the C and D closure fund, because at the end of the year, there's $162,578.63. We're required to have $200,000 this year, because we're in our fourth year. So an additional $37,421.37 will be added during the 2025 calendar year, so we bring it to our required balance of $200,000. And that I was going to move from the regular general fund, the fund balance in the regular general fund in your class, rather than hit our budget in some way, because we do have the extra money there. I also would like to create the highway garage fund, and that's going to be established with the $150,000 that we put in the budget for 2025. And then down below for the highway fund, the highway, what we used to call the highway garage, which wasn't proper to do, I'm gonna change the label on it to highway equipment fund, and this fund will be specifically for equipment, and the amount will be determined annually at year end when the final fund balance is known, and the town board will decide by majority vote what belongs in there. So I don't know if you wanna wait until we have Doug and Charlie here to discuss what you wanna put in there. Right now, there's only like $20 of what was left from when I moved the garage fund into the regular highway fund, New York class. So there's really nothing in there. So we can decide to move something in there, or put $1,000, or whatever you wanna do. Do you have time to think about that? And, those are the only changes made on here. Do you have any questions about it or not? No?
So the only thing I just noticed here, so under highway fund, you've got highway fund, which lists additional equipment, but then you also have highway equipment fund. So either one of those could be used for
either one could be used for equipment. One is more like, well, it says an equipment rental. Or to fund additional equipment, but yeah, because we didn't have anything for the equipment before. But it could come out of either one, but this one specifically like for saving toward equipment, where the other one would be for that current year's equipment. And we can decide that later, it's just giving us the option for me to change the name of it from Highway Garage to Highway Equipment Fund. Whether we put 1,000, 50,000, I mean, you know, we can decide on the amount later. I'm just wanna establish it and change the name on my New York Class account.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next one's also a carryover from the organizational meeting, and it's to accept the Town of Thurman Workplace Violence Prevention Plan. Ed, okay. Randy,
I'll
you
second.
second it? Okay. Whereas the Town of Thurman Workplace Violence Prevention Plan and Program was adopted on January 10th, 2023, and no changes are required for 2024, be it resolved, the town board adopts the Workplace Violence Prevention Plan and Program for 2025. And if anybody wants to see that, it is required to be hung on a bulletin board right outside my office there by the door. Any discussion on that? No? Okay, in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, those are all the old ones, now we're on to the new ones. This is a resolution to award the Thurman Community Association $18,000 in occupancy tax for the Thurman Maple Days. Attached to that is her request for grant application. Very similar to last year, a little bit extra for some extra publicity that they want to go for. And also there's some membership fees that they're also adding in that gives them some extra advertising. So do you wanna bring that to the floor? Ed, okay. And Randy, do you wanna second it, or should I, because it's?
I would rather you did.
Okay.
This puts me in a tough position
No,
because we
that's
need
fine,
3 votes.
I seconded that one, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Whereas the Maple Days event has been a major event for the town of Thurman in the past that brings thousands of tourists to the town and has been a continuing success. And whereas this year there will be approximately 10 farms in Thurman where visitors will experience maple-related demonstrations, wagon rides, tours, product sampling and shopping, as well as a maple craft show at the Thurman Town Hall, be it resolved, the town board will grant occupancy tax funding in the amount of $18,000 to help cover the expense of this event. Randy, how do you feel about voting on this?
Uncomfortable. I don't like voting on these things. I always abstain, but if I abstain, we can't pass it. So,
Yes.
given
And Maple
that,
Days is in March, so they don't have a lot of time.
Where they are at, we know that.
I mean, if somebody else was here to vote for it, I would abstain. But
Yeah.
since they're not, I would feel like I have to because
It
I mean,
needs
this
to
isn't
pass,
just my
you know,
farm. It's
yeah.
all the other farms that depend on this.
And this isn't something new, this is a reoccurring, well-established event, so I don't think it really affects anything, no. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next one is a resolution to approve the purchase of an F-350 4x4 truck. You wanna bring that to the floor?
Right.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. In your packet are 3 different quotes. The very first one, Warren Ford, is the one that is preferred. Whereas the town of Thurman is in need of an additional F-350 4x4 truck to replace the one that was sold at auction last year. And whereas an opportunity exists where the town can purchase this truck without having to wait months for delivery. And whereas the highway superintendent has researched 3 options, the lowest cost being from a local vendor and readily available in the amount of $71,435, plus an additional $1,020 for hitch plate and tarp for a grand total of $72,455. Whereas the budget for this purchase is $75,000, be it resolved, the town board of the town of Thurman approves the purchase of an F-350 truck from Warren Ford in the amount of $72,455 to be paid from account code DA 5130.2. And Pat, if you wanna speak to any of these different purchase orders you got here?
It's the three bids we got, was Warren Ford, Greenwich Ford, and Metro Ford, and Warren Ford. And two of them are anywhere from 120 days upwards to even get the truck delivered. The Warren Ford has one in stock over there, and it's cheaper, and we'll be able to have it within, he said, about 4 weeks. And that was the difference in the price. And they're all the same, that's the standard, that's the 350.
So besides the plow and the dump body, I mean, this has everything on it that you need on it, it's all set up?
Yeah, the only thing none of them came with was the hitch, that's additional,
Right.
$1,000, and they all have the same engine, 7.3. The base thing was the price difference in the wait time, mostly.
And the code, Deb, that we're gonna take this out of,
The equipment code, DA 5130.2, which has enough money in it for the 2 truck payments we're making in February, plus this.
okay, so it's
Mm.
covered.
Yeah, it's covered. There was 75,000 budgeted for this truck. Well, not this truck, but a truck.
Okay.
Yeah, what we get for the other one, like 5,000 or something for the old one.
Oh, when you went out to auction on it? Yeah. Yeah, that's,
It's to replace that black one that we sent.
yes, and the good thing about it then is a laborer can drive this truck. You don't need a CDL to plow in this, do you?
No.
No. So that helps out.
Yeah.
Okay?
While I was on the subject of trucks, I let the board know that one of our trucks is down, we've been having to do the north end with the 1 tons. They blew a head gasket in the red tandem, and I've got Eric, that's supposed to come and look to get the price quote, which is ain't cheap, you know, to measure that, but the truck is in really nice shape, and he says for the cost of it, it would be worth rebuilding the engine in it. And they just overheated, blew the head gasket, went up sky high.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Last resolution is to approve the budget adjustment so that I can close out December and close out 2024. What I did this time, so I don't have financials because until these are done, I can't close it out. There's not as many as last year, but what I attached to here is my handwritten notes showing the changes so that you can find them easy. Remember last time we had to go through page by page? Well, this time you can spot it easily. I circled them and wrote my numbers in on all the changes that are listed on here. So the first group where it says budget adjustment increase, and then the other side says increase as well, that is increasing the revenue so that I can increase the expense at the same time and bring them to 0. And then the 2 at the bottom, that is decreasing one code to increase another. And you can see if you flip the page, I mean, even here where I have A1120, which is our sales tax, taking all of that money out of there, we're still 44,000 higher than we expected to get, even using all of that. So I have all my adjustments on here that you can see. If I increase the interest in earnings, this is what we're left with, and we would have all of our, more revenue than we expected coming in. Oh,
you this before, or I don't know if we've talked about it, but how did we end up going almost 13,000 over on our health insurance?
I'm prepared for that.
Good.
Okay, we had, the December money taken from people's payroll, which is not in here yet, not showing yet, because the transfer has to be made. Then we have an employee who left, and we're getting reimbursed for that money, so so I'll tell you the numbers. The December payroll amount that we'd be adding in is $2,784. The reimbursement is $2,251. That will lower our negative down to $7,885. But in these numbers is our January invoice, that's $8,813. So the real balance is $927.61, positive number. But I have to have my account codes all to 0 to close out the year. I can't have any negatives to close it out,
Why are we putting a January invoice in 2024?
because it's due January 1, so we have to pay it in
Okay.
December.
Okay.
So once January comes and we move the money over from the payroll and we get the reimbursement on our bill, you'll see it on the bill, and we'll be like even again after that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we are so high in the
So
negative.
there's no change in coverage as far as what employees
No, it's all in how the money flowed. Yeah. Okay, do you have any other bills you wanna talk about on there?
No.
No? Alright. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The other thing that, we're done with resolutions now, so the other thing I need to talk about is planning the meeting in February. Our normal meeting would be February 20th. But the town clerk has conflict for that week, so we wanted to put it off till the following week. If I put it off to the prior week, going in ahead, we won't have a lot of the bills that we need to pay, like the credit card invoice and that kind of thing. If we put it to the 24th, we run into the quilters, because we also have to have the audit. So we're gonna be here a little while when we do the audit. So we're thinking either Tuesday or Wednesday, the 25th or 26th, which is just 4 work days after it would normally be. Do you have any preference to what day you want it to be? No?
Either one.
Okay, so, well then we might as well do Tuesday, the 25th. Does that work for you, Cynthia?
Yeah, I'll just have to get those, well, I'll work on the bills, as they come in, and then this is the last one that, yeah, I can do that. So Tuesday, the 20th, what is it?
Would 26th be better for you to have the bills in?
On Wednesday, well, a lot of them come in that third week, and so it might be
Yeah.
better if I have more time.
Yeah, I know, they do, they come in toward the end of the month, so
Yeah,
we can
so
do the 26th.
If you guys don't mind Wednesday,
I
that'll
don't mind.
That's
probably
fine.
work better for me.
Okay, so we'll put it down for the 26th.
So that's, Wednesday's the 26th of
Yeah.
February?
We're gonna have the town board meeting and the audit.
There's a lot, yeah.
26.
Yeah,
Same time, right?
4:30, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Do you guys have anything else you want to discuss?
No, I mentioned at the last meeting about the Reynolds Cemetery, I did get an email from the guy and, the adjoining property owner who, has expressed a willingness to deed us, it's like 0.17 acres of land in order to do a boundary line adjustment. And he's just waiting for a survey that he commissioned for his property
Okay,
so that he makes sure that it reconciles with our survey, and if it does, then he's willing to go ahead with it.
Perfect.
So,
All right, great. That'll be so good to have that behind us.
yep. Oh, one other thing, I think I forgot to forward this to you. The surveyor that we hired to do the Reynolds Cemetery, he's got some issues he wants to talk about, so he
Okay.
wants to set up a time that
Okay.
he can talk to the board about them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he needs to meet with the whole board or, you know, it's up to you guys if you want to just a couple of us talk to him. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he
Okay.
wants to talk about. He did give me just in an email, he sent me like a tentative grid layout,
Okay.
which it looks like he'll hopefully be able to resolve a lot of the issues, but I'm not sure what outstanding issues there are that he needs to talk about. So
And is his grid gonna take into effect the people that are not even?
I
That's probably one
suspect
of
it
the
is
issues.
probably one of the issues,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure, so. If you want, I will start coordinating with him and we can set up a meeting. Do you want it to be a full-blown board meeting, or do you wanna just, you and I can meet with him, or how do you
That's
want it?
fine. Ed, do you
I
mind?
mean, we just need to hear from him and what these got questions are. If there's any action to be taken, obviously the board would have to do it.
No, but we could get the information and we could present it to the board.
Okay,
Okay.
I will contact him and I'll run some dates by him and you, and we'll
Perfect.
figure out something to get it done.
Okay. Well, then Doug's not here, so I'll do the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay.
Can I say all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
We are all in favor.
Yeah.
I did want to tell you that I